All right, I am live. Welcome to John Lavenia Success Mastermind for Thursday, the 31st of March, last day of March 2022. John Lavenia here with you. And man, I got something I want to share with you today about how to get motivated now. Hey, folks, welcome. I see some people tuning in here live. Welcome to you. And if you're seeing this on the YouTube thing, go check out jlsuccessmastermind.com for more amazing topics of discussion like this. Let me just check my calendar today. I don't think we have any other events on the calendar today, just our general session. We did have Life and Business Tools with Adrian Garner, which has been suspended for the week as Adrian is dealing with some deadlines and stuff. By the way, shout out to Adrian Garner for all of our members here. You know, this guy is a scholar. He knows stuff like from the legal background and contracting and all the stuff that melts my brain. This guy, he's got it. So good ally to have. And of course, he's available to you here as a member of the Mastermind group. Here's what I want to talk with you about today is how to get motivated now. So anybody interested in that? Is that something? Yeah, I'm seeing some nods. Okay. All right, good. Well, I know a lot of you already are motivated. Okay. So then there's two sides of this, right? There's as an individual, because I've heard people say, believe it or not, and this may or may not compute for people here. I just can't get motivated. Anybody ever hear somebody say that? I just can't get motivated. What? Okay. So we're going to take that up. And then on the other side, it's other people, right? Like you're attempting to motivate other people to do something, right? So let's say, for example, they're considering, they're pondering, whether or not they should buy a certain product or participate in whatever the opportunity happens to be. How do you motivate people? That's the $1 billion question right there. So we're going to take this up today because it's like a thorn in my side. And I want to take it up and I want to hear from you guys about what you think about this. So let's start at home. Okay. So let's say that as an individual, you hear something like, I just can't get motivated coming out of your mouth. Okay. So let's take a look at that. There's immediately my mind goes to, all right, well, what are the component parts of motivation? In fact, this is kind of right out of the book that we've been reading in our book study group, Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff, where he talks about kind of the push and pull of a sales pitch. Okay, where you've got the dopamine that's happening, the hope for gain, right? Oh yeah, I want, right? Maybe I can get that, right? But you've also got the tension, the fear of loss, the norepinephrine, whatever the chemicals are, right? I'm not the doctor guy, okay, but here's the dopamine and the norepinephrine doing a little dance. And when you have one or the other, that's part of, that's partly it. I mean, you could, yeah. I mean, there's more motivation than sitting there flatlined in a state of boredom or apathy, right? So if a person says, I just can't get motivated, well, that's basically an admission of apathy. I can't. Why bother trying? Nothing works, right? So that is an indicator, right? If someone can't get out of their own way, can't get, and look, we've all had low motivational, times, right? I'm not saying that I'm, although Missy would disagree with this, that I'm 100% in action all the time. So when I define motivation, I think of willingness to act. Simplest definition I can come up with. So motivation is willingness to act, whether that action is to participate or to buy or to sell or to do whatever the action is. Okay, willingness to act. So why am I more motivated in my assessment than many other people? Why is that? Is that I have more dopamine? Is that what that is? I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to measure that. Okay. Or is it because I've got more tension in my life, more norepinephrine, looking to avoid loss? You know what? I think I could go with that. I can go with that. So in my world, yes, I've got both happening: hope for gain, fear of loss. Hi, Ingrid. It's good to see you. You're awesome. Um, so I've got both happening, but what do you think is the bigger motivator for most people? Well, I would just tell you in my world, um, I've witnessed for myself and for many, the the fear of loss or the avoidance of pain is typically more of a prompting than just hope for gain. It's kind of sad, I think. If you look at all the possibilities, goals that can be achieved, accomplishments that can be had, purposes that could be fulfilled. Wow, just saying it, I feel some dopamine. Yeah, I can do something. I can have an effect. Okay, but if that has been beaten out of people, if they've been driven down or cowed under into like a state of apathy or why bother trying, especially if they're watching the news all day and everything that's wrong with the world and they can't do anything about it. Well, yeah, I guess that's they're pretty low on dopamine. So how about norepinephrine, right? Here's the thing: if you've got somebody running down the street with a baseball bat, busting out car headlights or something, they're probably going to get out of their seat, call 911, maybe go out there with their own weapon, right? I mean, to get off their ass and do something. I heard that as an example once, where back in the days when headlights were $20, they weren't like custom molded things you got to get from the dealer. And if somebody called you and said, "Hey, there's this guy running down the street handing out $20 bills," you probably wouldn't get off the couch. Okay. But if somebody called you and said, "Hey, there's a guy running down the street busting out headlights," you'd probably get off the couch. So that was the example that, it may not be fitting right now. But when I think of motivation, when I think of willingness to act, I think of hope for gain versus fear of loss. Now, personally, I like hope for gain. I like that whole, reaching goals and being enthusiastic and going for it and having an effect, right? And causing things to occur in my life and in the marketplace. I like that. But we're not motivated to even lift a finger if we don't believe it's real, if we don't believe we can have it, if that's out of reach, or if that's only for the rare special people, and I'm not the special people, those special people over there, that's the spoils of victory are for them. But us commoners, us peasants over here, little old me, there's the conversation that kills motivation. There it is, right there. I can't. Therefore, I won't. And here I can't. I mean, that comes out of people's mouths all the time. But look, guys, back to the idea of norepinephrine and avoiding pain, loss and whatever. What can't you do? What can't you do? I mean, when the necessity level is high enough, you're in a state of emergency or something. Do you not get stuff done? You effing do. You get stuff done. Yes, you do. You do. You do. You do. And how do I know you do? Because you're here. You've survived this crazy friggin' rock that we're flying around on. You've survived. You got stuff done when you had to, when it wasn't, the question wasn't whether or not this is convenient or preferential. So if we could have that much knowingness about it's time to act when it comes to the avoidance of pain or loss, well, what do we need to do to complement it on the other side? Well, we need to get really friggin' clear about our goals. We got to start like finding evidence that we can, and then demonstrate to ourselves that we can. Little wins. Oh, look, there's a little victory. Oh, wow, I had a new sale in my business. I had great conversation with a lead, right? I walked into the boss's office and got the raise, right? There's little wins. Little things that you can cause that can increase your knowingness that you can. And now dopamine has its uses, right? And now it's like you start looking at these experiences that you want to have, the vacation you want to take, the car you want to buy, the whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish in the short term in your life, right? Which leads to longer term stuff, but typically more real is what we're looking for. More real usually means shorter term, right? How far can you project your vision if you haven't been doing this? Okay, well, let's set some achievable targets, and understand that it's an educated guess in terms of the amount of time it takes to reach these targets. It's an educated guess. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'll tell you what, you're going to be, let's say it's a 90-day goal. Well, you're going to be 90 days older with or without reaching the target. Well, you might as well set the goals then, and you might as well do something about it. And if you could just suspend judgment and all the ideas about, the considerations about why maybe you can't, and just go with the dopamine, just go with it. Just go with it. I'm just going to do it. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, but what's the worst case scenario, guys? What's the worst case scenario? This is a spectacular question for us to ask ourselves. So let's say, that I miss my target. And understand, we're not talking about missing the goal. We reach every goal we set. There's lots of targets along the way, and targets are time based, right? And that's an educated guess. But you're going to get the goal. You're going to get it. Okay. So knowing that, so all the considerations about why you can't, let's just suspend all that. In fact, you can observe it. You can even do this with like a journal. People journal. It's a pretty good thing to do, by the way, where you can write down, your thoughts for the day, like your challenges, and the challenge could be the big challenge of the day is stinking thinking, right? I thought this, I thought that, I thought that. I'm not saying these are thought crimes or you're confessing your sins or whatever. However, the lie dies in the light of exposure. When we could take something and objectively put it down on paper, now it's real. Now we can look at it, observe it. There is the error. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Here's all the bullshit that I ran on myself today. That's a great thing to journal about. Look at it. Right? Tell you what's going to happen. A few days in, you're going to be tired of writing all that stuff. Unless you're truly psychotic, right? I don't know. Should I tell you this story? Probably not. I'll tell you the story another time. Now we're in a public forum. So just know that I've got a story for you about psychotic people. But and how many of us? All right, so think of it like this: if you've got like a spectrum of sanity, okay, you could say here's sanity, right, and then somewhere out here is like neurosis, right, like emotionally unstable, and then somewhere way out here would be like psychotic, okay. So how many of us can claim? Be honest with yourself now, to be 100% sane 100% of the time. My hand's not going up. So let's address the neurosis then. Here's all the bullshit that comes up again and again and again and again and again, right? And this is, in fact, the anatomy of the problem. It's not the circumstances. It's not that you failed yesterday or whatever story about what happened in your childhood or whatever. It's that you are entertaining a consideration or a group of considerations about why you can't. There it is. Here's my intention. Here's my counter intention. Yes, but bam, 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 bam. There's the cognitive dissonance. Welton Long, in his, I think, very excellent book, Power of Consistency, talked about creating that. You know what? I haven't read the book in a while, but it was where you identify tasks that will bring you in the direction you want to go, and you start developing habits consistently to do those tasks. And one of two things are going to happen. You're either going to start moving towards your goals, or you're going to abandon your goals. So here's where I'm at. Here's where I want to go. Here are the things that could get me there. I'm either going to get uncomfortable. And as Albert Gray said, successful people are, have formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Okay, great. So I'm going to do these things despite my preferences or whatever, and I'm going to move towards my goal, or I'm going to fall back into comfort, familiarity, whatever, and abandon the goal. And as Henry Ford said, obstacles are those frightful things we see when we take our eyes off the goal. No dopamine. No dopamine for you. So we damn well better set some goals. And they should be SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Specific. What specifically are you here to experience? Measurable. What does it cost? A, achievable. Has anybody else ever done it? Great, you can do it too. R, relevant. What's it feel like for you to accomplish that, to experience that? What does that feel like? It's relevance. T, for time. Work expands to fill the time allowed for it. Let's tighten it up. Right? Put a little pressure on it. There's some norepinephrine. There's some tension. I got deadlines now. So now we've got dopamine and norepinephrine. Here's where I'm going, and I damn well better get it done, like now. Right? Otherwise, what's the default outcome? Let's say we don't. Let's say we don't reach, we don't strive, we don't effort. What's the default outcome? Well, I don't know. I suppose we could have this conversation 5 years from now. You'll be 5 years older. Now, you know, maybe now you're motivated. I don't know. Right? So you want some tension? You want some high necessity level? Are you immortal that you can piss away time? Is that who you are? I don't mean spiritually. Yes, of course you are. But, right. So let's shift gears now into how do we motivate other people? Great question. Excuse me. Great question. Give me 30 more years to contemplate that. You know what? I don't have 30 more years to contemplate that. So here's my contemplation on that. And this is from my experience thus far, which is not, I don't know everything. Okay. But I do know how to motivate people in the short term to make a purchase or to enroll in something and to choose to, you know, participate or not participate. I induce decisions on the part of other people, and I do it pretty freaking good in the short term. Did you hear me? In the short term. So how do we do this with others? How do we motivate others? It's the same chemicals: dopamine, norepinephrine, hope for gain, fear of loss, and to communicate fully. Remember the idea of relevance with your own goals, to communicate something relevant to that other person, which would get them off the couch. Click the buy button, participate, right? What are the two push and pull, right? The hope for gain, the fear of loss. Seek pleasure, avoid pain. We're reading it in the book right now. This book that we're studying in our American book study group, right? Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff, right? He's motivating people to buy, to participate, to invest, to whatever the pitch happens to be. He's persuading, convincing, inducing decision on the part of people in the short term. He also talks about buyer's remorse in there. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still, right? So we're not necessarily in the convincing business, forcing unto people what they don't already want. But if we can get in communication with people about what they want or what they want to avoid, right? There's clarity through contrast. This good, this bad, right? That's nice. We can see now, right? But if we can get in communication with what's already real for them about gain and loss, they're going to be motivated to do something in the short term. The area where I think I need to contemplate more, and maybe I need to read more books on, you know, leadership or something, but is long-term motivation for people. Because I'm not going to go live with, let's say I've got, here's Ingrid, who I consider a dear friend, and talking with Ingrid, and she's motivated, and she decides to buy or participate or whatever. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm moving into Ingrid's house, right? Actually, she's got a chicken that likes to frequent her couch. Yeah. That's kind of an interesting thing. It doesn't mean, though, I'm not there with Ingrid 24 hours a day reminding her, hey, you know, here's what you can get. Oh, and here's the pain of loss, right? So it's not like I'm there constantly. So people need to be self-motivated. in the long term. And this is where, and probably all the sages throughout the millennia have pondered this. How can we cause people to chronically and consistently and perpetually get out of their own way so we don't have to keep reminding them again and again and again and again? And I don't have an answer for that. Because you can never outperform your self-image in the long run, right? On a consistent basis, right? People default back to their innermost beliefs and expectations about what they can and can't do. So long-range motivation requires, I'll tell you what it required for me, because none of you need to come and motivate me. All right. Here's what it required for me: consistent personal development, reading the books, showing up at the lectures, putting in the good content, the reminders, because I forget all the time. I am seduced all the time by appearances, circumstances, problems, other people, other unmotivated people. And as social creatures, we tend to go into a state of agreement. Here's the status quo. Here's what's normal. Here's what's expected. It's called mediocrity. You like to be social, right? Go be mediocre with these other people. Terribly seductive. Whereas you look at people who have just abandoned the whole agreement thing and whatever, right? You could think of a few of them, right? People who make spectacles of themselves in various areas, right? A lot of times I'm exposed to, because like I was driving my daughter to her class today, and she wanted to hear music, and here's the pop radio station, and I'm like, every single song is some juvenile sounding girl, whispering into a microphone or something. What? This is called popular. Oh, okay, I got it. All right. So there are people obviously who are making it in the modern music business to whatever degree they're making it. But how about things that I can relate to, right? So that's not the entirety of, making a spectacle of yourself. How about, look at Grant Cardone, for example. Here's a guy who has so much reach because he's gotten really into marketing himself, right? And I didn't like the pop music content. Okay, you may or may not like the Grant Cardone content, but it's light years apart from, here's the 16-year-old girl, with her microphone shaking her ass on MTV or something, versus, here's a guy teaching, sales and being powerful. Completely different world. Okay, but it's not about agreement. It's not about fitting in with some status quo. So what did I have to do? And what do I continue to do? I continue to put in reminders about where I can go with this. And guys, I hit a wall with this recently. I hit a wall with this. I had some losses. So don't think this is all cherries, man. Okay. But I had some losses. I'm not going to get into the details about it here. But I just had to get objective, get back to present time, take a walk, air out my, my considerations. In other words, verbal vomit all over whoever would listen. You could probably guess who listened. My secret weapon. And then we had to wash that off of ourselves because it's some toxic shit. And then get back to business, pick ourselves up, get back to business. So yes, I need counselors in my life. Solomon, who was purportedly the, wisest and richest man of his age, had many counselors until he didn't. And then he fell. People don't know that part of the story. So I'm not saying, rise above mediocrity and go it alone. Rise above mediocrity by choice and find ways to immerse yourself in the environment that provides reminders that you can go into agreement with. Holy shit, you're powerful. Yes, you are, Lindsay, Daisy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's validation too. Whatever we validate expands. Mediocrity, greatness, being pathetic, whatever, right? It all works. It all works. And you will very successfully demonstrate that your innermost expectations of yourself. There's the autopilot. There's, as Maxwell Maltz talked about, psychocybernetics, right? There's the self-image. There's what makes your decisions. No matter what you say, or that you hope, or you think that would be nice, your autopilot's set. So we've got to adjust the autopilot. That's how you get consistently motivated. And if you could do that for other people, my goodness, you'd be a trillionaire. Which is why I think, and look, guys, we've got a handful of people here tuning in with us live. We got some people who probably watch on the YouTube thing. I think, if as many people who needed this conversation were in this room, there's no Zoom account that could hold it. It would be the most popular channel on YouTube. It would be, right? I mean, just if you ask me what I think, that's what I think. Because this stuff saves lives. And those lives include goals and purposes and great accomplishments. This conversation. What do you guys think about this? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I got a hot mic. I'm just making some notes so I go over things. Okay, so great topic.
Thank you.
I am motivated. The most interesting part to me is how to make others stay motivated.
Yeah.
But I look at some of the very basic things which have been true through mankind forever. And these things are not going to change. Few people want to change. Very few people want to change. Years ago, I can tell you it was like 2006, I remember making a big sign, and I put it over my desk, and it said, the only way to change your life is to change your life. And I don't never heard anybody else quote that, so I can take credit maybe for that quote into posterity.
A Pipitone original.
The only way to change your life is to change your life. Very few people want to change. I find that I've been going around the same mountain for many years, and wondering why. And that's because of a lack of consistency. But why I say this too is going to be perpetual is because you're always going to have those people that make things happen, those that watch things happen, those that wonder what happened. Mm-hmm. I used to be a wonder what happened in my 20s and stuff. And then as I got older, I would watch things happen. And now finally into my 60s, I'm making things happen. And a lot of that is because of the consistent input and support from JLSM support group. For those who are listening, sign up. So that's given me a lot of consistency, and it's important to stay connected. Because if you're not connected into whatever you're doing, you'll have a tendency to lose your passion for it. And it won't be as important as it first was. You also have to revisit your why. When you're really running into problems and everything, okay, so why? Back it up. And why am I doing this in the first place? And look at that. And then there's always those, as we've heard in business and everything in life, 20% of the people do 80% of the work. So you're going to have those 20%ers that are going to be your achiever. And hopefully, as you're talking to people and trying to get them motivated, you're running into those 20%ers. And we'll continue on that. So, and I think many people on this call can relate to that in their personal businesses already, where they've signed up people. Some are running and some are doing nothing. They signed up, they lost interest. So my hope is to, now that I have Thursdays and Fridays off, I will be on general session. Yay! Because before I thought it was going to be a bad thing to have to work the weekends, but now I'm glad that I have Thursday, Friday off. I can stay plugged in. I can follow up with people because I hate to bother them on the weekends anyway. And I hate to actually work my private businesses on the weekends. So I can get, now that my Albuquerque move is settled, and I'm going to be here for a few months, I can get back into the businesses that I own and be working with them on a consistent basis on there. So I hope that's helpful to someone. It certainly is helpful to me.
Thank you, Virginia. Yes, great insights. And thank you for bringing up the 80-20 rule. And of course, then there's the 20% of the 20%, right? Whereas people,
Yeah.
right, people look at the top, 3 or 4% in any industry, and trainers and mystics and everybody else for eons have considered, how can we increase that percentage? Those top 3%. Well, 3% is 3%. It's impossible to increase it, right? But you could choose to be in it, and that's, I think, what you're talking about. And thank you for that. That is great. So yeah, we don't, ladies and gentlemen, we don't purport to have all the answers. We haven't figured out everything. So if you could figure out how to increase 3% to more than 3%, let me know. Hey, Missy, what's your story?
Hey, John. Well, I think it's, first of all, amazing that amazing things are happening to me, in me, on me, of me, from me, through me. And it's not always that you can recognize and observe your own leaps to new levels, but I am. And one thing that happened this morning, I had a lead and we had to call customer service, and she was I would say a somewhat reluctant lead. So she went through it and the website didn't work. And we had to call customer service. So she's starting to get fed up. And then after we did that for 10 minutes, it still didn't work. We had to call somebody else. So she's beyond fed up now. So we finally go to do the shopping. And I'm like, I like this lady. We were talking about political things that we agree on before this. And so she finally, since December, took the call. So anyway, I don't want to use the word manipulate, but at the end of the thing when she shopped, she's making her own stuff. A lot of them do that. So they don't. I said, listen, you can't make everything, and this hurts your floors, which I learned the hard way. And I said, it's just, we got to take this money away. She says, I know, it's the only thing that hurts them. I said, yes. So we got through, she shopped, and her first words to me were, I'm going to be leaving this in 3 months. I said, why are you saying that? She said, because I don't want to spend this much. I said, I am not going to allow you. It wasn't that much. I said, you're already spending, but I'm not going to allow you to do that. Next month, we didn't have time. You're leaving for the airport. I said, I'm going to shop with you. I'm going to help you. We're going to get those points down. And by the end of the 3 months, you're going to feel differently about this. So I'm giving her, I'm trying to motivate her, I guess is what I was trying to do, because she put such a downer right after she clicked complete sale, And so she said, if you can get me to do that, then I'll stay in. So I'm going to work my tail off to get her to do that. So she stays in. It's just her. She's not buying for anybody else. So, and she's got her own product somewhere else. I said, but what you're buying, that's not good for you, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, normally I would have been bothered. Normally I would have been upset. I would have been down. I feel higher than I did before the call. I imagined her going through the whole sale thing. It's in the cart, and she's not just enrolled, she shopped, and it worked. And I am going to I'm going to Neville Goddard the heck out of this lady. So she remains a customer because she wants to help. She's just thinking of it in the wrong way. And she's not poor. She just doesn't like being told she's got to order a certain amount of it. She doesn't like that.
People don't know what they don't know. Right. So that's fine. And I'd say the reason you feel higher is because you, with conviction and knowingness, enlighten someone to the point where they were able to make a decision based on what they said they wanted in the first place. So
she was believing me that I'm going to help her
lifting
get it down.
people up. That is very validating for you, right? You're lifting people up, enhancing lives, the whole thing. So Well done,
But even
Missy.
if she had not shopped and said it's not for me, I would still feel this way. This is the change in me.
Mm-hmm.
I would still feel this way, and I'd be moving on to the next three, because now I have as a mantra, for every one I lose, I get three who shop and stay. And I'm just, that's it. Nobody's breaking this frame that I have set for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I get the next 10, God forbid, don't shop, I'll get 30 more who will.
Mhm.
So that's all there is to it.
There it is.
And we're moving upward and onward. As soon as I hang up from you, I got a call to make. Two ladies said she was buying yesterday morning and didn't do it.
Go sell something. That's it. The answer to every problem in business. Go sell something.
I gave her 3 outs. I said, it's okay if you don't want to. She's like, no, I want to. Well, then
Right.
put your finger on there and do it,
And when
She's
you
raising
click the
endless
button,
cattle,
right.
not poor.
And when you click the add to card button, this is
Click
what
the
will
green
happen.
button.
Yeah, when you click the green button, right. Thank you, Ingrid. Good stuff. That's it. You could just sit there with your eyes closed. Click the green button. All right. So, thank you, Missy. Were you done, Missy? Were you
I
done?
was done. It's all from this
Okay.
platform. So thank you.
Okay. Virginia has something else. She's going to chime in here.
Came in, it went out. It was something else I wanted to contribute,
Okay.
and now completely spaced it.
Okay. Well, it will. Neville Goddard will deliver it to you any moment
Yes,
now.
exactly.
Right. All right. Anybody else on this motivational topic that we're talking about here? Are you motivated? Is anyone motivated to say anything right now? You feel free. No.
Yes.
And say.
Yes. I agree. This is a great topic, but I was, when you say what makes people motivated, and I was thinking about my 2 kids. I've got one straight A student, just on the mark every time. But then I've got one that his grades are not so good. But I was listening to him, and I just don't think he gives a shit really about school, because he has other things that motivates him.
I own his brother.
Huh?
I have his brother.
Yeah. Well, that's he was telling a friend on the phone the other day. He's like, and he didn't know I could hear him. He said, no, I know exactly what grade that I have to get so they don't put me in advanced classes, but I don't get in trouble at home. I was like, well, dang. I mean, that's a set of skills. And it's like, if you can, and he's like, in math, it's so-and-so, and you have to do, on the first test, you have to get this grade. And I was like, okay, well, obviously school doesn't motivate him, but he's got like hustles going on at school where he brings home hundreds of dollars that he makes at school. I mean, he's not ripping people off. He's legit making money at school. So that's what motivates him to go to school. Grades motivate my other son. So I think it too has to do with what I mean, this is like, neither one of their backs up against the wall. He knows his back will be up against the wall if he brings home a certain grade. But, I'm not pushing him to make the best of grades. I know something's wrong if my other child makes a low A. I know something's wrong, but so yeah, he's got this down to a science. So I thought that was an interesting perspective. It's got to, something that you want to do, or you can get around anything if you're motivated enough. The school part just gets in his way, but I don't know why that was coming up, but
he's learned how to fly below the radar, and that is a skill. It sounds like he's actually very intelligent. He just doesn't get interested in that, so he'll do well.
School bores him. He would, yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, like we're talking about with Virginia and Lindsay, where's the carrot? So what does he want? All right. And I would quickly blame modern day academia for coming up short, right? Oh, so you've got your degree. That's nice, as you manage Starbucks or something, right? So to what end? Where's the carrot, right? And I think people get very interested in stuff where they could see, all right, well, you know, I do that and then I get that, right? I just dealt with this with my daughter, by the way. You know, she's good with her lessons, you know, her schoolwork. But talking with her about, you know, when she gets off track or lags behind, talking with her about like, here are the consequences. Here's the rewards. Here's the consequences for, you know, getting this education. All right. So yeah, it's math and reading and whatever. And as you know, as a guy who's really into language and communications, I'm like, man, really dig into that. And she's way ahead on reading, but she's kind of on math, you know, as is her father. And you know, with the grammar and stuff, you know, there could be some better. She's very conversational, okay, when writing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of like that too. So she's you know, but she can sell. Very good. Very good. Right. So in my case, and I don't know if this is helpful, Lindsay, but in my case, I had advanced classes in public school until I just aborted. I was like, that's it. I took, you know, trigonometry. What? Not interested. And wound up getting into something more gratifying for me, which was mechanical, you know, diagnoses and you know, a trade. Now I'm not in that trade anymore, but it was for me, it was a stepping stone from, you know, I'm completely purposeless to holy crap, I can accomplish something with my hands. That was a big win. Okay. That was before, you know, writing books and, you know, everything else. So anyway, does that?
It does. And I think the school system does, because I had all advanced classes and I was like mothers. It came easy to me to a certain point. But if I could get them to work together, because like my older son's on the robotics team, like he programs his stuff from home and then takes it. I was like, he could do all this. He can write programs on computer. I'm like, if they could work together, they'd be a powerhouse.
Right.
So I'm trying to push that because yeah, they're just two different, they're totally different kids, obviously, but yeah.
Can I just say that you have to encourage his gifts?
Oh, I do.
But tell them what he did when he was 4 years old at the funeral.
Well, it wasn't a funeral, but yeah, it was 2 days before my grandmother passed. Everyone, no big family, nobody, the whole family hadn't been to Thanksgiving in years and years. He was almost 4. Well, all of a sudden when we left, I mean, of course, all the kids, grandkids, great grandkids, everybody showed up. Well, Liam, I was like, well, he's been so good. You know, he's the little terror when he was little, just whoa. He get in the car and he starts like pulling wads of money out of his pockets. And he had like hundreds of dollars. And I was like, what did you do? Where did you get that? He said, and he said, I charged people to get in to see grandmother. I said, what?
Nice.
Oh my
I said,
goodness.
you did? I said, why? He said, well, because if they waited this long to come see her, they deserve to pay.
Oh man.
He said, I charged some people twice. And I said, you didn't charge mom and dad, did you? He said, no, because they're always down here with her. He said, just the ones that I didn't know, they had to pay to get in. I was like, holy didn't know better.
Okay.
That's
There's
what he's known places, big places.
He's got
And he's got the gift of gab and he's watch out, John Lavenia. That's all.
Yeah, I'm excited. Maybe we'll have him out here to mentor us on charging
Liv-
people.
We can run this session in 5 minutes. There's no business
Yeah.
trying to eat.
I think you partner him with Trinity.
There you go. That could be
Hey,
an
that'd
interesting.
be-
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe selling online or something. This guy's an entrepreneur. 4 years old or so. He's
It's 13 now. And so it's
no,
yeah.
before when
But
he
yeah,
did.
no, I had no idea what he was doing. I just thought he was being really
That's
good
really-
that day. No, he was hustling my whole family down.
He's going to be a CEO of his own company.
Yep, I believe so.
Yeah.
Make sure he learns ethics too.
He is ethical. I mean, maybe that wasn't ethical, but in his mind, he said if they hadn't been to see her in that long, they should have to pay to see her because that's just totally wrong not to do your grandmother that way.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't disagree, but I didn't charge people. Anyway.
Got it. Ingrid, did you have a comment? I saw your mic light up and now it's gone.
Great. I think your kid sounds fascinating. Yeah, Lucas has a lot of trouble in school now. Before COVID, he was all about the New Zealand and Finnish ways of schooling, and our system here based on just not making mistakes and getting grades, and it's just so stupid. And he got himself, wrote up a nice letter, gave it to his school. The school board actually contacted him for doing a bunch of presentations to different schools because he said, we need to fix this. And I had told him, you have to get the kids involved because the rest of us all survived. So we actually don't care anymore. You're going to have to get your friends to see the wrongness here because you're living it. So he was really into that. And then COVID came. So he never got to do his project, with all the schools basically in the whole Montreal area. And he still believes that it's all bullshit, but it is what it is. We just have a year and a half left to go, and it doesn't go well. There's no motivation for him. Yeah, it's crap. He's in advanced classes because you need to be taking advanced math if you want to do computers ever, which he wanted to do. Now the math is really difficult. He came in 6 weeks late and never caught up properly, and he blanks out, he panics. He has no motivation at all. It's pathetic. We just got to get him through because everything is not motivated now. He doesn't do anything that he likes. He likes to play with his goose. That's kind of what he wants to do. So it's a bit of a thing. And he doesn't care. I don't care. Like this whole I don't care thing about everything. He's 15, so it's part of the territory, but it's a bit tough.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from me, who at 15 had already quickly figured out that this violin thing I was really good at, and I never had to go to school because I was good at this violin thing, and so they let me out. And I actually quit school when I was 16, the minute you could. So I had a whole different take on everything. And I wasn't motivated with school because it didn't serve me, but I had plans. He just has none. He just wants to play with the goose. That's it.
All right. Well, maybe he's got a future in farming or
Goose tech. Yeah.
Specifically geese. I don't know what the commercial aspects of that are, but I know farming is like serious business.
Not interested in it. He is going, I'm hoping for big change this summer. He's going out to a friend's who has a ranch out in Saskatchewan, which is sort of above North Dakota, that kind of area of the States. And they have a big cattle ranch with a lot of horses and stuff. And he's going out there for 2 months to learn to do boy things because I'm only me. I can't do the boy things. And he's going to learn how to fix tractors and learn how to shoot and learn how to drive stick because our car is a stick, and he's going to be at the age to learn. And I hope that'll help a lot because it's too much. Yeah, you got to go outside and get tired and work hard. My farm is a pretend farm. There's not really much to do. You just throw hay and stuff. He doesn't have to actually do anything with the animals. So I'm hoping for big things with that. Come out a young man.
Great. Well, I think we have another topic right in there, which is like the square peg, round hole sort of a thing, which I think many of us have experienced as well. Obviously, our conversation went in the direction of, what are our kids motivated by? But, here's a boy who could definitely use, sounds like, some time on the ranch. Hell, you were describing it. I'm like ready to go. Where is this? Saskatchewan? Will they let me in?
They'll take you. They're really excited about having someone to fix stuff.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But I'm not taking the Fauci sauce. So I don't know if I'm welcome in Canada.
I have to drive him.
Oh, right.
I have to drive him. It's a 36-hour drive if you did it straight. It's going to take me like 3 days.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's another thing.
All right.
Fine.
Well, at least you get to see the country. Good times, everyone. Let's get back here to tomorrow. We're going to have our general session for Friday, and we will have Be Heard as well. I do have tomorrow night, just so you know, we do have our big event here in right where I live, the Scottish bagpipes and Scottish games. So just so you know what I'm getting ready for. Yeah,
Nice.
everybody.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm planning on eating like a slob, watching people throw cabers, and listening to bagpipes. So that's my weekend. There you go.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, did it in Phoenix, but this one's supposed to be like one of the biggest ones in the world, right? People
Are you
come
gonna
from
wear
all
a skirt? Because I want to picture
over.
it.
A kilt?
Skirt.
No.
Kilt.
Although there are, it's actually pretty popular, tactical kilts. So if anybody knows about like what's the company, 511 Tactical, they make duty gear for civilians, police, military, whatever. But they actually have a tactical kilt for like $70, and you can do your concealed carry and all that. So I don't own one, although I considered getting one.
What
So,
city is this in?
Dunedin.
Oh, no, I haven't been to that one. I've been to a really big one down around Tampa or something like that. And then, of course, in the Orlando area. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. God, I had a question. Tomorrow's the 1st.
Yeah.
Are we dressing?
Yeah, you can dress. You can do April Fools. You can do whatever you want.
It's April Fools. Yeah, we're supposed to be dressed up on the first Friday or
Let's
month.
do it. Let's do it. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, I'll wear a tie. Thank you for the reminder because I forgot. So good. We'll do formal Friday tomorrow. Everybody dressed to the nines. Anyway, good to see you all. Virginia, congratulations on getting settled down there in New Mexico. And I'll see you all back here real soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.